Today I'm doing a video on SpinTech Mufflers. Anytime you talk about chamber mufflers, particularly Flowmasters, SpinTechs come up to conversation. Now, SpinTech mufflers have been available in the market since maybe the early or mid-1990s. They were invented by the gentleman who goes by the nickname of Dr.Gas. He has a history of building components for NASCAR and also had a little history in rocket science. Just to make it simple, if you were to cut a SpinTech muffler in half, it looks like this. You kind of have a whole bunch of curlicues. And that is how the muffler works. See, there's this theory of thermodynamics that they use. And it's true. As you increase heat energy, thermal energy in a system, there's an increase in entropy, or the randomness of the molecules. When something is cold, the molecules kind of form neatly compact groups, similar to something that you would see in a solid. So it's easy for sound waves to travel through them. It acts almost like if it was an amplifier or speaker. As you increase heat energy, the molecules have their own agenda. They want to move out in all different directions. Sound waves can't easily be transferred. The molecules aren't right next to each other, and they have their own agendas on what they want to do. So that's how the sound is, in a way, canceled or muffled. You see, air goes in. The exhaust gas goes in through one side, gets scooped up in the curlicues, almost like if they were some sort of a lover. And as they get scooped around, they spin around, hence SpinTech, and go to a little bit of a dead end. Now, I'm sure probably some cancellation works there, some sound energy gets converted to physical energy in the wall, the curl, but you have these little perforations here, these little holes, almost like something you would see in a glass pack. And that's where the exhaust gas escapes, because it can't go through a dead end. It goes out through here. And the interesting thing is not all the exhaust gas gets sucked up in these little curls. Some of it goes around the outside. And when it does that, it pushes air out of the way and creates a vacuum, creating essentially what is an exhaust gas scavenging. So the theory behind SpinTech is that it's going to allow your car to generate more performance than other chambered muffler designs, because many chambered muffler designs or general muffler designs hit a back wall. They hit some sort of a wall, a flat edge, and the exhaust is forced to go in all different weird directions. A SpinTech is supposed to allow the exhaust to have a clear path, and at the same time using different principles than constriction or absorption to fully muffle noise. Now, of course, there's some constriction going on here with these little perforations, but the idea is that it's thermal energy. It's the more randomness of the system, more randomness of the molecules that's supposed to be creating a muffled noise. Now, one of the interesting things about SpinTechs is nowadays they actually build mufflers to your specifications. You want a muffler in a weird shape, weird design, whatever it is, just tell them what you want and they will make it for you, which is something I really like. Not to also mention that they're also made in USA. SpinTech mufflers have an old school design, kind of like the original Flowmasters. They're box mufflers. They're welded rectangular boxes. They're not round. They're built pretty heavy duty from what people say. You can actually see a lot of the weld marks on their mufflers. In fact, you can kind of see what the inside of the muffler looks like from the outside based on the welding patterns. There's all different types of designs, all different numbers of curlicues, shapes of the curlicues, their locations. It all depends on whatever application it is. And they build mufflers for all different series of racing and all that type of stuff. Now, an interesting thing about these SpinTechs is that they're also available now in stainless steel, which helps them be a little bit more reliable than some of the other muffler designs out there. But SpinTechs, I have to say, from my personal experience, they kind of make a unique noise. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad noise. I actually like it. It's kind of raspy at higher RPMs, and at lower RPMs, it kind of has that lopey idle sound. And I can attribute that to just the extreme randomness and all the different directions the exhaust gas has to go in to get through this chamber here in this muffler. Now, SpinTechs, when it gets into that the whole topic of performance, is it good or is it bad? I can't declaratively say. I've never personally dyno tested anything with different types of mufflers, but what I do know is that compared to some other muffler designs out there, your mainstream muffler designs, it might be a good thing. It has a lot less baffles to bounce into, and the baffles that are there are rounded. Of course, once again, the exhaust has to go through, like I said, all these different weird directions. It gets scooped up, pushed through perforations, all different silly business. So maybe it's one of those mufflers that it just produces a nice exhaust noise that you would like and want to put on your car. Anyway, that's the general aspect of how a SpinTech muffler works. Take care.